What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. We'll be continuing with our Why Would the Zodiac Signs Cheat series. And today, we'll be covering Virgo. And Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac. This is a very interesting one. Very interesting one. So check it out. Virgo is the sixth sign of the zodiac. Their main function is service or discernment. Figuring out what doesn't work and how it should work. Virgos are known to be critical. The energy in a way is kind of pure, or it wants to be pure, right? And for the most part, Virgo people can come off looking innocent or clean cut, whatever you want to call it. Now, what would make a Virgo cheat? Oh yeah, Virgo is also ruled by Mercury, and this is Mercury's inner orbit. So it's like a feminine energy, and it's like a subconscious energy. All right. And if you don't know, Venus, the planet of love, relationships, that real urge to merge, is debilitated in the sign of Virgo. And it's debilitated because you can't really experience all-encompassing love if you keep focusing on the flaws of the individual or individuals showing you love. Alright? So the first thing that would make a Virgo cheat is either them focusing on the flaws of their partner, or their partner focusing on their flaws. It's a very interesting dynamic, and that position of Venus and Virgo, it's quite a karmic lesson, and once learned is a great spiritual lesson, but that's for another video. But in terms of Virgo cheating, what happens is, let's just use Venus and Virgo as an example, and the person themselves doesn't see their true beauty. They're like, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, all of these things, right? So what in turn happens is that attitude gets displaced onto the partner. So the person with Venus and Virgo, knowing that internally they themselves are very unsatisfied with themselves, they start criticizing their partner. Because of this unhappiness with their self, it's displacing, the criticism. I know that I want to be this way, but you know what? My partner isn't any better. They're worse than me in this regard. And what it does is that it creates this psychological outlook that I deserve better. My needs aren't being met. Right? But here's the trick to Virgo. Virgo doesn't express the needs that they fully have, because those needs may be considered taboo, or the Virgo doesn't want to be criticized for saying what they actually want. Opposite sign being Pisces. So the Virgo person carries their own amount of secrets, and from this outlook of I deserve better, my partner doesn't have this, so I deserve someone who does have this, and that can do this for me, instead of them thinking I should do it for myself. Okay, so what happens is, to give another example, so say this Venus and Virgo that isn't satisfied with their body, they will literally start criticizing their partner's body and what they want. And what will happen is the affair can occur with someone who represents the ideal of what they want for themselves, or what they want in the relationship. All right. So this is a very, very tricky one. And the next reason is going to tie into what I mentioned before about Virgo not speaking up about what they really want. All right. So the opposite sign of Virgo is Pisces, and Pisces, is things taboo, things, kept secret, behind closed doors type of thing, right? So what I've noticed, I've always say this, that Virgo is probably the most submissive sign in the zodiac, right? So hypothetically speaking, let's just say there's a person, right, with Virgo who is into extremes. I forget what it's called. I think it's called like S&M, like spanking, choking, all of that, right? It's so funny, but the way the Virgo energy comes across, especially say if it's like at ascendant or sun, the person tends to look very innocent, what they would say, neat, right? You just wouldn't take them to be as freaky as they actually are. So because of that, and this is the image that Virgo wants to project. So it makes it harder for them to express that they really, really have some desires, that aren't getting fulfilled. So the second reason I would make them cheat is because the person who can, without saying, do you like this? Right? The person who just does it. Say the person likes, being choked or their hair pulled. The person who does this for Virgo without Virgo having to ask is fulfilling that need. All right? It's basically Virgo wants someone to bring them to the darkness or that other side, that Pisces side. All right? And it's very interesting because I would say we're talking about like cheating on your spouse or whatever. Or we could just be looking at this as overall having affairs. But, in the sense of needing some excitement, needing some release, I would say Virgo would need to have an affair the most. All right? So check it out. Back to what I was saying about the critical nature. When Virgo actually fulfills that need, right? Say the Virgo is like, fuck it, I'm gonna have an affair, right? What happens is they stop criticizing their partner. Why? Because they are now self-satisfied. They've gotten what they wanted, but when they're not getting what they want, they become critical of others. But anybody out there with Virgo energy, always remember, when you want to blame others, when you feel like a person isn't acting how you want them to ask yourself, am I expressing whatever needs, I have that I want this person to do? And secondly, do I need to be pointing the finger at myself? Instead of saying, this person isn't good enough in this regard, am I good enough in that regard? So I think it's very important for Virgo to, point the finger at themselves before they point it at others. All right? And if you satisfy yourself, you won't feel the need to criticize others. Now, next thing I would say, lastly, that would make a Virgo cheat, because I don't really think, like, Virgo's not a energy that's like, man, I need to, have multiple partners, but it's more so about like a situation, right? They need certain situations where they can just let go. Opposite sign, Pisces, is very important. So oftentimes you'll even see with a Virgo person, you might feel like, damn, they have a partner that doesn't quote unquote fit them. Well, in this case, opposites really do attract, and that person is helping Virgo learn how to not be so critical or, pay so much attention to things. Kind of just Virgo needs someone to help them go with the flow, and that's what an affair kind of can do for Virgo. So it's very interesting. But I would say, like, the last thing that make Virgo cheat is someone who is constantly neglecting their needs. And not even needs, because the way the Virgo was set up is that they really like the little stuff. They appreciate the little things. So say the Mercury's in Virgo in the 5th house, and the person just can't have the type of conversations that they want in their relationship, right? The person just doesn't, the partner doesn't feed the intellectual side of Virgo. The Virgo is going to start growing, kind of like what I said before, like critical, but more so they're going to kind of develop a little bit of a hate for the partner. So when Virgo is neglected, as far as like, you know, say your spouse like you live with is a Virgo, and you know, you just, they're always cleaning up, but you never acknowledge that shit. I'm not saying something that small is going to make a Virgo say, I'm gonna go out here and cheat. But what I'm trying to say is that they notice the little things. They do the little things so they can get a little bit of appreciation for it. And when that those needs aren't met, it makes the Virgo grow discontented. Alright? So y'all, this is my interpretation of why a Virgo would cheat. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. If you need a reading, email me. Until next time, peace.